All right. Hello, Nintendo fans. My name is Mario Master. How are we doing today? And welcome to Need for Speed Heat. One of the more interesting entries into the Need for Speed genre slash game series. Now, I've played a couple of the Need for Speed games. This one, though, I have put the most hours in. I believe I have uh 322 hours in Need for Speed Heat. Now, the thing is, I have recently got the platinum for this game, which means I have done everything that I can possibly do, which brings me to my current stance on Need for Speed Heat. Here's my thing. This game is empty. And I don't mean in the literal sense, obviously. But this game, there is nothing to do once you 100%. Even after you beat the campaign, like the main campaign, there's nothing to do. So, from my memory, once you beat the main campaign, you have two separate campaign options, which is the drift one and the off-road one, which are super easy and just not as good and or fun as the main campaign. But even after you finish these two separate campaigns, there is nothing to do. Legit, the only other thing to do with um the the game is to 100% it. If you have completed the campaign or all three campaigns, you have the best car in the game, which is the car I'm driving currently, the Carrera. You are level 50. You have all the ultimate plus parts. You have everything. There is nothing else to do except for 100%ing. And it's not that difficult. Um, I mean, all you need to do is get 3 stars on every single speed trap, which isn't that difficult. Um, I would highly recommend if you do plan to 100% this game. If you want to see a little bit of a tutorial on that, I will make one. But please, for the love of God, get the RSR. It is the best car in the game. Anyway, back to my problem with this game. Now, I still play it. Don't get me wrong, but when you're to the point where I am at, where there's nothing to do, there's no point in logging back on. There really isn't. What am I gonna do? Grind out money just so I can buy another car that's not gonna help me whatsoever? I mean, yeah, sure, it's fun to an extent, but like, it gets incredibly dry so fast. you know. And what I mean by the feeling of emptiness is, yeah, once again, when you are to the point where you have everything in the map unlocked 100%, there's nothing to do. You just can do nothing. And, recently in the online world, this game has actually kicked back up in popularity, which is good to see. I love seeing this game back in its um more popularity because when I first started playing this game way back in like 2020, when this game was new, um this I don't think I bought it in 2020, but whatever. I bought it when this game was new, newer. And this game was really alive. But I mean, it died for a long time. Um, but it's back. And but not everyone has you know, online PSN, Game Pass, all that fun stuff. Which is fair. Sometimes you just can't afford it, or sometimes you just don't have it. Which, yeah, that's fine. So you don't have the online aspect, which brings me to my point of when you get the platinum, what is there to do? Nothing. The only thing that you could realistically do is true 100%, which would just to be to get every single car. But I mean, without mods, the amount of grinding you would have to do, I don't even want to imagine. Now, I kind of was joking to, a couple of my friends that I would true 100% this, but I don't think I'm going to. But this game just has these massive open spaces where there is nothing to do. Legit, right here in the footage that I'm recording over, this is a very nice prime example where it's just this empty quarry where there is nothing. Like, I think there's a flamingo, a jump that you can do, and maybe a race. But, like, other than that, if you're going out of your way to 100%, like I did, there is absolutely no reason for you to come over here. It is completely pointless. It it just doesn't make sense to me. Um, my thing is, right, this game has is fun. I don't want to say it has potential because it kind of doesn't. It does and it doesn't. You know, when you 100% the game, even when you finish the game, like the main campaign, even when you just do that, there is really just a feeling of, okay, well, what the fuck do I do now? And the answer is really nothing. Congrats, you beat the game. That's it. Bye. I mean, there are obviously several different ways to play this game. You can just grind out night racing instantly and get ultimate plus parts like super early. Um, Obviously you would need to get like level 50, but whatever. But you can get ultimate plus parts super early and just grind out night racing and then do the main campaign and just destroy because this game really didn't think about that. Um, but you know, the feeling of absolute nothingness really starts to set in when you've gotten to the point that I have, you know. I struggle to find myself even returning to this game now, obviously, even when I wasn't, even when I didn't have the platinum, I still found myself struggling to even come back to this game because there was nothing to do. And there still really isn't anything to do. I mean, the people who make Need for Speed, EA, um, have Unbound to focus on, which is ironic because Unbound is fucking dead and no one plays Unbound. That's why it's on sale constantly. I recently talked to my cousin about it, uh, because he has both Heat and Unbound. And out of pure curiosity, because I don't have Unbound, I'm like, what is the play experience with Unbound? Is it the same? Is it like different? Does it take place in the same exact map or like what's different about it? And he's pretty much said nothing much is different. I mean, like obviously the animation style is different, but that's nor here or there. But like he preferred Heat compared to Unbound, and Just from watching like trailers from Unbound and all that fun shit, I can see why. You know, this game has its charm. As you just saw, like broken physics in this game definitely make it fun. You know, um, having the ability to just fucking fly across the map just by barely hitting a thing is definitely a novelty with this game. Um, broken physics, um, broken cars, or really unbalanced cars. This game has a lot of charm, and I do love it to an extent. And my extent runs dry when I start thinking it's like, okay, well, back to the emptiness thing. What is there for me to do? Nothing. There is not one thing for me to do anymore, except for a true 100%, which I may or may not do, honestly. But, like, because people want to keep, like, my friend keeps hopping back on Need for Speed Heat. Like, I get it. This game is fun. But, like, eh, you know? I was tempted to get, like, Test Drive Unlimited, the new one, the Solar Run one. But, like, I just saw the reviews for it, and I'm like, But I feel like this is the problem with a lot of modern racing games, especially open world ones, is once you get to this point, there is nothing for you to do. You know, I mean, when you have an open world sim racer game, not really a sim racer, when you have an open world arcade racer and you finally 100% it or just beat the main campaign, there's nothing for you to do. I mean, at that point, it just becomes a grind fest for like your favorite car or something, you know. And I kind of got that with Forza when I was playing Forza. Once you beat everything, which does take a while to be fair, Forza's campaign is very long. Although dry, it is quite long. I, even when you beat it, there's nothing else. The only thing for you to do is to fresh restart for one and just start over, which I know people do, or you just grind out and get your favorite car or just do whatever you want, you know. And at least with Forza, there's at least something to do even after you, you know, get all the things. I mean, not much, but like, there's always something going on with Forza. That's kind of the thing with Gran Turismo too. Is although if you beat the main campaign, there's still like side quests that you can do. There's all the races that you can do. There's like there's a bunch of offshoots. You never can run out of something to do. And especially with like weekly challenges, them adding new cars, the legend shop changing every so often, so it's never the same cars. You know, Gran Turismo has kind of mastered that, but Gran Turismo is an open world. It isn't an open world arcade game. It's a sim racer. So I expected to play differently. Um, but with games like Need for Speed and Forza, and even Test Drive, is that once you beat the main campaign, like I said, there's nothing for you to do. Drive around the map. There, you're done. Those are your options. Here, legit, I'm going to be blunt here. Once you beat the main campaign in any open world racer, here are your options. Grind out for money so you can buy like every single car and just have everything forever. Like it won't matter. Two, 100% the game. Or three, drive around the map aimlessly, just remembering the good old times. And there is a fourth option, which is just to reset the entire game and do it all over again, which I know some people do, but it's just at some point you got to ask yourself, it's like, do I really want to just play this game again? No, not really. Like, it's okay. I mean, uh, I don't want to uninstall this game because I have a lot of nostalgia for it. I started playing this game basically when it was new. Not like brand new, but when I remember when this released, and I remember first playing it. This game is really fun. But once again, I can't say this enough. When you 100% a game like this, like Need for Speed Heat, what is there to do after that fact? Nothing, you know? And mm, I hope not, but maybe if the day comes where all the online servers are shut down and everything like that, then there truly is nothing to do. Because then it's only solo. And then it really is empty. So the question I really asked at the beginning of this, and what really gave me this idea to make this video, is why does Need for Speed Heat feel so empty? And it's because there's nothing to do. And it's true. I mean, even before you get to this point, right? All there is to do is the main campaign. But, you go to this open world, it's this pretty big size open world where there's just fucking nothing to do. Okay, you run through a speed trap a couple times. Okay. You try to do drift zone in a friggin' truck. Okay. It just isn't fun. Just driving around aimlessly. Even when you don't have everything and you 100% the game. Even when you're to, like, the beginning point, sure, yeah, there's stuff to do. There's more stuff to do, obviously, because you're at the beginning. You don't have anything. You can still just go out and explore. But once you do, and you just know the map by like the back of your hand, there's nothing to do. There is nothing to do. So the feeling of emptiness is honestly because of Need for Speed's, you know, need for speed. You know, they don't want you, the developers of this game don't want you to just slow down and pay attention to these smaller parts of the map. Which is why they hide, collectibles there. But when you get all the collectibles, you're going to these parts of the map that, sure, yeah, you haven't been before, but you wouldn't go there normally because there's just nothing there and there's nothing important to do. There might be a flamingo there, but like, I didn't need to come over here. It's just, I don't know. Um, like I said, I mean, Gran Turismo obviously isn't a very comparable game, but it handles this problem perfectly. You know, um, there is always something to do. You know, um, the game is constantly being updated. Um, Grant, there's always new cars. Um, there's new tracks. There's the weekly challenges, which can take you like maybe 3 hours, but whatever. Um, you know, there's invitations to exclusive cars. There's the old legend cars that are really fun to use. There's always something to do. There's never not nothing, you know. And Gran Turismo has kind of struck that, where it's not an open world sim, yes, but it always has something going on. Kind of like Forza. I don't play Forza a lot anymore. Um, I used to when I got my PSN account banned like a while ago. That's all I played because that's all I could play was just Forza Horizon. And you know, it was still so much fun because there was just this massive open world that there was always something to do it, you know. And Forza also has like the music events or whatever, and like it has those skill chains that are always fun. Forza, much like Gran Turismo, always has something going on, which is why it's one of the better arcade games, open world racing games that I've ever played, because there's always something going on. This game, on the other hand, Need for Speed Heat, really doesn't do that. Although this game did release in like 2019, there's still just like nothing to do. I mean, take Test Drive Unlimited 2. That game is not the best thing ever. Trust me. All right, I've played it, but I loved it. It is a very nice open world car game that puts a lot into exploration, little things like you can own a house, you can own like you can design your car pretty integrally. Like there's a bunch of little things in Test Drive Unlimited 2 that just modern games don't capture. Um, you know, but I mean, with every single open world racing game, there will always be a feeling of emptiness. And there's several videos that you can find about this where it's just, well, I beat the game. What do I do now? And you don't need to 100% the game, you know? This feeling comes way before that, you know? Before you before you even decide to like, all right, I'm going to 100% this game. I'm going to get the platinum or whatever, right? You have probably already beat the campaign at this point, because that's typically when it happens. Is That's when that decision gets made to get what to 100%. When you make that decision, you've already beaten the campaign, you've done the main story, you've done all the things, right? So that feeling of emptiness has already set in. So, just to have that again, but to an even greater extent, because now there is truly nothing to do. Like, because you've done everything that you could possibly do. And that's where the feeling of emptiness comes from. But once again, every single arcade open world racer suffers from this, unfortunately. And Need for Speed is one of those arcade sim racers, or arcade open world racers, that suffers from this problem greatly. But do I recommend this game? Yeah, I like Need for Speed Heat. It's fun. It's fun to play with friends. This game has come back alive to a little bit through its online scene, which is always good to see. Always fun to humble the new kids um, who don't know what they're doing and just think a Corvette is like the greatest game or the greatest car. When like I just pull up in my RSR and smoke them, and they call me hacking or a hacker, whatever. It's always so much fun to do that. Um, but don't take my word for it. I strongly suggest playing Need for Speed Heat. Um, it is one of the greater entries to the Need for Speed genre and or the series, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But that is it. So thank you everybody so much for watching and listening to my ramble about Need for Speed Heat and how empty it feels. Um Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to check out my Twitter, Discord. Sorry, I keep saying my Twitter. My Twitter's dead. Discord, Patreon, and Twitch. All linked in the description below. Patreon is $1 a month. I do extra videos. There's a video coming out fairly soon. I'm still kind of working on it. Um, and my videos get released early on there. So if you want to watch this content a whole lot earlier than it comes out on YouTube, I strongly suggest checking the Patreon out. It's $1 a month. So yeah, Discord, you got a server, join it. It's a fun time, even though it's dead. It's still a fun time. You can chat with me. You can chat with some other fans, whatever. Um, and Twitch. I want to be on Twitch a little bit more. I haven't been on Twitch a lot. I want to be on Twitch more though, so maybe some Twitch streams eventually, but no promises. But that is it. Peace. Bye.